Are made, where we believe you can be a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. And we believe those are your physical health, your mental health, your social health, spiritual health, financial health, and your intellectual health. Today, our episode is on your mental health, specifically using social media. Big topic right now. Lots of studies and data going into it. Is social media good? Is it bad? I don't know. We'll find out. Millionaires Are Made is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something that you don't, and that there's something to be learned from everyone. We've got 3 awesome guests today that are going to give you a little piece of advice. If you like what they say, make sure you go follow them on Insta, send them a message on Facebook, and connect with them and learn. In the spirit of authenticity and to eliminate all bias or any persuasion, I never meet or know my guests until about 15 minutes before the show. So when they give you their tip, that is directly from them and their life experience with no bias or persuasion from me, which is pretty cool. And that's how we like to do it here. Today, we've got 2 sponsors. First off, I will introduce this awesome product. It's called InstaFarm. It automatically and uses AI to grow all your microgreen needs inside your house. It's got broccoli, kale, just about everything. I just started it this morning, so it's going to be awesome. You'll get to see within 7 days I'll be harvesting. So next episode, I might have a pair of scissors there harvesting away. Hopefully, you all get to check that out. Next up, we have needs for guests. Please, please, please. If you have anything to share, which I know you do, sign up for guests. Sign up to be a guest right now. It's really simple. You'll see it takes about a 30-minute show, and you only have to come up with one tiny tip. So please sign up as a guest, refer other guests, and let us know. Second thing I need to talk about is topics. We're actually getting to the point where we're almost running out of some topics. So if you have an idea of virtually anything in the world that you want to learn more about, or anything you're curious about, or anything you want to meet some people that know a lot about, let us know. If you want to know about board games, we can do an episode on board games. If you want to do on Buddha, let us know. Whatever you guys want is something that we will do, and we will do the work and go find some people that have some cool tips about it. And if you like what we do, we try to offer free advice to everyone, information galore. Please share, like, comment, subscribe, YouTube, TikTok, Insta, however you want. We'd love to keep this going and help you guys learn some more. So without further ado, now that I've talked about our sponsors and our guests, let's hear it. What do I recommend to improve your mental health with social media? Where did I even learn this? Some guru somewhere taught me that we need to make sure that our social media benefits our goals. So when you see someone post something on your feed negative or whiny or not aligned with your goals, it's really easy to do one of 3 things. On Facebook, you can click see less. That'll fix the algorithm to see less with those keywords, that kind of tone, and you'll see less negativity in your feed. Number 2, you don't have to unfriend them, but you can unfollow them, which means that their negativity can't infiltrate your feed. And number 3, we'll learn more about this in just a second, but stay off it. Social media can definitely do as much harm as it can good. So if you're falling to the trap that your mental health is not doing so well, then you may have too much social media, and you're going to have to lay off it some. So without further ado, we're going to bring out our first guest, Marianne here. Hey, Marianne.
Hello.
How you doing today?
Great. How about you?
I'm doing awesome. It's a rainy day in paradise. Let me ask you, who are you?
So my name is Marianne Stenquist. I am a spending coach. I teach people how to become unshoppable, how to end overspending by learning why we shop and how to stop. So that's kind of my passion in life, and I love everything about it. I feel like we're being sold to constantly, and we need to become empowered to stop spending before it happens and not be at the whim and mercy of just whatever we see on social media, because social media has become quite the advertising marketing platform. So and I have a course called Become Unshoppable. The beta course is launching. It's a steal at $50. I have 5 slots open. So launching the week before March 1st. So I'm really excited. And I have a free quiz and free Facebook community that I linked. So come join if you struggle with overspending. And even if you just want to be better with your spending, come join.
And we are now posting her free Facebook community. Go join that community. If you want to be unshoppable, Marianne's the one to meet. Marianne, that might have something to do with your tip. Let's find out. If I wanted to improve my mental health with social media, what piece of advice would you give me?
Yes, that has something to do with my tip, because I have struggled with limiting screen time, especially on social media. My tip is to limit screen time. There's an app both for Apple and Android. The Apple's called Screen Time. Android, not sure what it's called, but it tracks your time across apps, and it is mind-blowing. It was embarrassing to be like, oh my gosh, I spend that much time, hours a day, like I could be so much more productive. And the way that it relates to spending is stop scrolling at night. Stop putting your phone by your bed. That is when I do the most spending, is when I wake up middle of the night, I like can't get back to sleep. I start scrolling and then all those ads come and oh my gosh. Yeah. So I would, if you can't, it's easy to delete apps and add them to your app. So I would say just a hard, like, don't buy on your phone, force yourself to buy on your computer, because that takes you having to get up, log in. It's just not as accessible. So that would be my tip, is limit with the screen time to bring awareness, and then get it away from your bedside table.
Awesome. Oh, I guess you kind of did a little bit of this, but where on your journey, where in your life did you learn how to keep that phone away from your bed, and how much money you're
Yeah,
spending on social media?
it was how much money am I spending? And social media, I was going on in hopes of like making connections and being social with people, but I'm a business person, and so I've added a bunch of groups that are like marketing, business related, and so I end up being sold to more than being social. And so I think you need to set your intention for, am I going on my phone because I want to be social, or because I want to look for like networking connections or other things? Having a clear intention really sets your mind in the right place, because you can go on to be sold to. There's nothing wrong with that. You can go on to be social. That's what it's there for. But don't go on expecting to be guided to what you want, because you'll go off into Neverland. So just go with an intention, because social media can be great. It's an amazing technological advancement that we have, but it can suck your time. It can hurt your mental health. It can do a lot of damage if you're not putting those barriers.
That is funny you mentioned that, because if you do want to sell in Facebook groups, then you probably want to talk to me, because that's
Yep,
all
there
we
you
do
go.
all day
Yep.
long.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with it, just as long as like you as a consumer have the intention of, I'm wanting to find a product to help my life, or I'm wanting to be social. Putting limits and having a clear intention.
I love it. Thank you so much, Marianne. We'll go ahead and move on to our next guest. We've got Rachel coming here. Rachel, who are you?
Hi, Austin. Thanks for having me. I am Rachel, and I am a life coach, and I specialize in mindset, life coaching.
Very cool. I love it, Rachel. Let's get to the nitty gritty. If I wanted to improve my mental health with social media, what tiny tip would you recommend?
The very first tiny tip that I recommend is building a positive and supportive online community. It really is essential for nurturing your mental health.
Okay. All right. Can you tell us how to do that?
I sure can. So basically, two things. When you encourage open and honest conversations, and I always like to share valuable resources, I try to really create a safe space for people to connect and support each other. Quick statistic here.
Ooh.
The number one fear of Americans is public speaking. So
Okay.
my next tip would also be to do lives. Get on Facebook, do a live. Get on Instagram, do a live. These are things that's going to support yourself in being authentic, being empathizing to yourself, and also growing as an individual.
You could also get on Millionaires Are Made and do a live guest appearance.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, Rachel. Well, Rachel, tell us where on your life journey, how did you learn this? What did you have to go through? Where did this information come from?
Well, I have kids, Austin, and I have seen so much with social media through 26 years of raising children, the good, the bad, the ugly, the crying, the happiness. It has really taught me as an individual to have wisdom with social media. So with my social media and my coaching business, I'm always really trying to portray and give positive notions to people and set them in a better place and just really kind of enlighten people because of all the negativity out there. I try to be a light in a dark place.
Awesome. A light in the dark place. I love it. Yeah, it's crazy how social media started out as such a positive benefit, and it's just kind of deteriorated over the last 10, 15 years. It's interesting. Now we have TV shows about it and conversations about how to reduce social media.
Right.
It's kind of interesting. Anything else you would like to add, Rachel?
Basically, just like Marianne said, learn to decrease your time on it, and also learning to just decrease your nerves being the speaker. So go ahead, push yourself, do a live. It's okay. You're going to feel better about yourself each time that you do it. Continue to decrease your nerves on social media. So use it for your gain.
Use it for your gain. I like that. Awesome. Thanks so much, Rachel. We'll go ahead and move on to our next guest. Jen, how are you doing today?
I'm pretty good, Austin. How are you?
I'm doing great. Can you tell me who are you?
Sure. I'm Jenn. I'm a resilience coach. I help people build their proactive resilience in our turbulent world. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a 2-time kidney transplant recipient and a caregiver to my daughter who has a low-grade brain tumor. So I'm busy.
Yeah. All right. Tell us what prosilience is.
Prosilience is proactive plus resilience equals prosilience. So it's taking a look at how we can bring people to their resilient baseline, and then also prepare you to face life's challenges as they come at you. And resilience isn't something that you have or don't have. We have seeds of resilience within us, and we can grow those. And then we can learn how to, by a step-by-step framework, apply them as we're facing challenges, whether they're good or bad or even adversity.
Very cool. Okay. Well, let me ask you this. If I wanted to improve my mental health with some social media, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
It's similar to what your other two guests have mentioned. It's one, being mindful and really being intentional about what you ingest when you're partaking in social media. Mostly because I'm going to ask people to make this more of a somatic experience or an in-the-body experience, because we know that that supports our mental health. Our nervous systems were not developed to take in everything that we're seeing from around the world at all times. And it can create this chronic dysregulation within us. And what I'm inviting people to do is pay attention as they're scrolling social media to what their body's telling them. So if your body starts to feel like this, and you can tell that it's not really excitement, it could be more anxiety that then can translate into our mental processes, to take a moment and decide, if this is something that is part of your spiritual connection, and if so, you can still partake in it, but just know that you're feeling that and that you can change the way you're relating to it. What I mean by that is I was on a podcast talking about prosilience, and the host is very close to those who are living in the Middle East right now. And she's trying to stay abreast of everything that's happening because of the people that she cares about and loves. And at the same time, it was chronically increasing her anxiety. And she asked if I had any tips based on that. And I asked her, when you see all of this information inundating you about all of the difficult things that are going on in the world, and in particular this area that you care so much about, are you doing it to be informed? Are you getting sucked in? Or is it part of your mission? Part of her mission is to, share what others are going through her podcast. And so she was able to reframe it with that question and realize that when her body starts to get dysregulated, she can engage her parasympathetic nervous system by some simple tips and reframe the way she is reacting and relating to that information. And always, if it's too much, you have the innate right to say, it's too much. I can't do this, and sign off.
Very true. Very true. Yeah, you have the power just to turn it off. That's very
and
true.
That doesn't mean that you don't care about the people that you want to you want to meet or you want information about. It doesn't. That's not what that means.
Yeah, friendship, it does not rely on how many hours on social media you have. No. Otherwise, it's not that solid of a friendship. So you touched on this a bit, but is there anything else you want to talk about? Maybe, I guess, how you came to the prosilience name?
Oh, sure. Well, it's a step-by-step framework that, unbeknownst to me, I've been practicing since my first kidney transplant when I was 15. And I ran across this work as I was researching resilience by Linda Hoops, an organizational psychologist. And she speaks about the 4 building blocks of resilience. And as she described them in her book, and I'm reading them, I'm like, oh my gosh, she put language and a framework to what I've been doing naturally. And when people would ask me, how are you so resilient? 2 kidney transplants, a daughter with a brain tumor, you're a coach, so you hold space for others. How do you do that? And I didn't know. So that's why I researched, and I ran across this wonderful book, and I'm very excited to bring it to more people.
What book?
It's called Prosilience, Prosilience.
Do you know who the author is?
I sure do. Her name is Linda Hoops, Hoopes.
Wonderful. Awesome, Jen. Well, hey, let's go ahead and bring Marianne and Rachel out, and let's see what they've got to say. All right, we started off with Marianne. Do you want to quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yes. So first of all, limiting screen time, using an app to do that for you in the background. That's a good eye opener. And not having your phone by your bed, so you stop scrolling and shopping and not getting sleep.
And can you repeat what were the name of the app for iPhone and
Android?
Yeah,
so iPhone is called Screen Time, and I'm not sure what Android is called. I tried looking it up and I couldn't find it. I want to say it was like minutes. It started with an M, and I couldn't. They probably have a few, but yeah, Screen Time for Apple.
All right, so improving mental health with social media by using an app to limit your social media, or at least measure it so you know how much you're spending. Rachel, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I definitely support that and agree with it. I think that as adults, that's why we make the decisions that we make, and children need to be modified by the adults, and hopefully parents will do that more and more.
Jen, what are your thoughts?
Oh, totally. I say if that works for you, that you should definitely download those apps and take a look at it. I am guilty of all of those things Marianne recommended against. So I'm going to take a look at that. But I also think, in addition to those screen time apps, like just listen to your body as well.
So I loved what you said about the listening to your body, because I've noticed that I want to get rid of an uncomfortable emotion, I reach for my phone. That's like what the habit is. And so I liked the prosilience, being proactive about like, why am I reaching for my phone? Why am I going on social media? Is it to buy things? Is it to network? Is it to create connections? Is it to get that positive interaction? Like what's the reason? And so being proactive about that, I like that. Listening to your body first and being like, do I need that? Do I need that connection? Or do I need like actual physical connection more than like social connection with strangers?
So that point, Marianne, actually also directly relates, probably broadly, but to alcohol. Why do I want to grab this drink? Why do I think I need this wine? So in a previous show, we talked about that a lot. It was actually a show on partying that 2 of the guests were sober like me. So that was kind of interesting. But that's a great
and
point.
it relates, to every aspect, every addiction. For me, as a spending coach, it's shopping addiction, and that's what I notice in my own tendencies. So it's whatever your favorite flavor is, shopping, drinking, whatever. It's what's the intention, and recognizing what you're feeling. Is that need going to be met doing that bad behavior?
Oh, absolutely. It's that numbing effect, right? That we all look for when we don't want to sit with difficult emotions.
Yeah, I also want to point out, I don't know if you guys have seen this, but Facebook sends notifications on when you're using Facebook while driving. Have you guys seen that yet?
No, thankfully I don't do that.
Use Facebook.
It's not pretty when you look at it and it goes, last week you used it for like an hour and a half driving, and you're like, oh, whoa. But it has decreased because I moved to an island where they drive on the left side. It's hilly and mountainous. You have to focus. So I'm scrolling less. But yeah, I remember watching that going, wow, Facebook while driving. Hey, Rachel, do you want to quickly refresh what your tip was?
Yeah, so I had a couple tips, but my tip that would be unique outside of what the group has already mentioned is use it as a growth tool. So go on, do lives on all the platforms, push yourself to be able to get over your nerves and the physical parts that scare you, essentially. So use it for yourself.
I love that. I love that. Jen, do you want to give us a reaction to that?
I mean, yes, I love that. Like,
as we're all live right now.
Yeah, I know. Like, as an entrepreneur, that's one way that I'm hoping to share and spread my message. Now, I'm also a theater major, so I don't really have a fear of public speaking. But for those who are trying to grow themselves in that way, and it's one of their goals, I mean, I think it's an easy way to do it and to reach out to others. And hopefully, like you had also mentioned, they've already built that supportive community so that the reactions that they receive are constructive and not ones that can tear them down.
Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, Rachel, that's awesome. We've kind of had a little bit of a negative tone, at least about like limiting social media. I like that you came through and gave us a nice positive, like just use it to grow. Yeah, I mean, social media can be used to grow. Absolutely. You can learn, you can research, you can do thousands of things. And I think going live is definitely a cool one. I should do it more often.
Social media is like
I like the
you really have to use it the right way. So just be mindful about how you use it.
It almost sounds like
I like that positive,
media
coach. Yeah, and like I like the positive spin on it, because really social media is what you make it. It can be a negative thing, it can be a positive thing, it can be whatever you want. You just have to set those intentions and limits yourself so that you can use it to your benefit, to exactly what you need it to be. So whether it's good or bad in your mind, make it what you need and what you want.
Like anything in life, look at your activities, what's habitual, and is it okay to be habitual? Like you guys brought up different subjects, addictions and things like that. A lot of people are picking up their phones for no good reason. It's a habit. They just pick it up. There's no real thought behind it. Well, don't do that unless there's an action behind it, right? Put your feet up if you have some relaxed time and be okay in your own skin.
Wildly agree. Yeah. Definitely use social media for growth is huge. That's a good point, Rachel. Thank you. Hey, Jen, do you want to refresh what your tip was?
Sure. It's about, like both Marianne and Rachel said, being mindful and intentional And in this case, listening to your body. You don't have to always, go to your mind to make your choices. If you are saying in your mind that, yeah, I want to reach for my phone, I want to be on social media, but inside your body is like this, then that might not be the best time to do it. So take cues somatically from your body, decide how you want to regulate your central nervous system so that you can be in a more mindful place when you engage. And a simple tip for that could be simple box breathing. Be mindful of your breathing as you help regulate your central nervous system, because breath is a remote control for our brain.
Rachel, what are your thoughts?
I agree with what she says. I tend to specifically work the other way around. I don't let my physical symptoms get in my way. I train my brain to go first. I won't allow, because if you think about somebody having a panic attack or anxiety, you have to push through it. In my mind, I teach my clients, push through it. Don't wait and let it scare you and overwhelm you until you feel okay. So I tend to work the other way around. But again, one size doesn't fit all. So I do respect her perspective as well.
Love it. Thank you so much, Rachel. Marianne, what are your thoughts?
I just love everything that's been said. It's what you make it. I like the prosilience, like being proactive about it, not reaching for it per habit. The screen time is really to give you an awareness, but like you need to take control, knowing that awareness, like it doesn't regulate you. Like you need to make those regulations and make it what you want for positive and for growth and social connection.
Any last thoughts, anyone?
Well,
before we go to my favorite
I love
part?
what Marianne just said, because I do share with my clients, awareness is the first step. And that awareness can come from your mind, and that awareness can come from your body. For me, also, awareness comes from energetic exchange. So like Rachel said, find your inroad to your awareness and then make your choices and your forward momentum from there.
I love that. Yeah, that's a great point that Rachel and Jen repeated. But yeah, I mean, a lot of this is it's a double-edged sword for your mental health. You can go on social media, you can doom scroll, and you can really, really affect your mental health negatively. But, screen time, paying attention to what's on your feed, going live and like learning and growing is a huge positive that social media has given us. So it's just a matter of figuring out what your positive and what your negative are and trying to keep it all on the positive side. All right, guys, you ready to come up with a daily challenge? Any thoughts so far? Something that takes less than 5 minutes, costs $0, and anyone in the world can do it, from Kathmandu to Fiji, that will improve your mental health with social media. Who's got some ideas?
Well, one thing that's completely free is mindful breathing.
Okay. Like while you're on social media,
mindful breathe to regulate your central nervous system so that you aren't going to doom scroll and take the negative from it and have it affect you in negative ways.
I would add to that before you even go on, because then you can see, do I even want this or need this right now? Maybe it will direct you to what you actually need, that deeper need. But then also just like to incorporate Rachel's comments, like making it positive. So mindfully breathing, setting the intention of like a positive interaction, what you want. That breathing will give you that time to stop and set those intentions.
Thoughts, Rachel?
I would challenge everyone to go and do a live, whether it's for 5 minutes or not. For all of the people, which are most Americans, have never done a live before. Go on there, talk about what you ate today, talk about what's on your mind or what your dreams are. Just go do it for yourself and say, I did it, and pat yourself on the back.
I like that. So let's see if we can do these all together. I like Rachel. So we had a guest, Richard Kaufman, a couple episodes ago, and the episode was, I think, social health authenticity, perhaps. And he said every day just go spend like 30 seconds to a minute live and just talk about what you're feeling immediately. So I actually like that a lot. So I think we should incorporate that. So we talked about breathing and going live, scrolling. So I'm thinking maybe we go live every day for like 30 seconds, and maybe the first 5 to 10 seconds is just like some heavy breaths. How do you guys feel about that? Do you guys already go live every
just
day?
set that right intention.
Not so much
I
live,
don't.
but I do podcast quite a bit, and I do run challenges from time to time on LinkedIn.
All right.
I don't, but that was a good little kick in the pants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Rachel, do you go live every day?
Not every day. I should be though.
All
Don't
right.
shoot all over yourself.
Challenge myself every day.
Well, let's do this as a challenge then. All of us can go live every day for at least like 30 seconds to a minute, maybe a minute, because we're all kind of longer talkers and are comfortable on camera. But for our audience, if you don't feel too comfortable, 30 seconds is great. Maybe go live, and your first 5 to 10 seconds is like 5 deep breaths to kind of focus on yourself, and then just release. Just go live and let loose, whatever's on your mental health mind, I guess. And just use social media for the positive and start practicing and learning that. You guys sound good with that challenge?
I love that because it also lends the air of authenticity as well as normalizing what humans feel.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
well,
I love
that's going to be fun. All right. I've never gone live really at all until I started this show. And then obviously I go live every Wednesday. So this will be kind of fun to just go live 30 seconds to a minute and just talk about what's going on in your life and take 5 nice deep breaths to focus in the beginning. And I think we've got ourselves a nice mental health social media challenge.
Awesome.
Sounds good.
Great.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. We're going to wrap this show up. Well, I guess that concludes our episode of Millionaires Are Made today. Mental health, social media, and our daily challenge is to take 1 minute and go live on your social media and start it off with 5 deep breaths to kind of hone in and feel how your body's feeling about it. And that's about it. Hope you guys had a